Yeah, I'm curious to see what his appetite is of a hand like suited connectors. Is he willing to call on the button, take it post flop? Looks like he will. Joao's game plan with the big stack is let me just keep getting involved and
Yep.
try to make it difficult for my opponents. Helps the aces in a great spot against 9/8 suited.
Oh,
Maybe not.
10-7-6. Fedor does not have a diamond, and it is unclear whether or not he anticipates this sort of board texture would hit the flatting range on the button from Vieira. We really don't have a data point that gives us any insights with regards to how broad his range is in terms of hands shown.
Fedor should be checking this flop. Also because he expects Joao to attack here, even unpaired. Like if Joao had like queen, jack, king, queen, probably would bet here to shake out ace highs. There's a huge range advantage for Joao because he's playing hands like 9/8 suited, pocket pair, sixes, sevens. So it makes a lot of sense that Fedor is checking the flop. Of course, Joao is just hoping that Fedor's got a 10 or overpair. So
Yeah.
he needs to open the door for those hands to put in chips right now.
And the other thing is that Fedor should have a lot of big card combos in his opening range in order to ensure he has some durability in the face of a potential 3-bet. And when you look up at a 10-high board, you know that your opponent is going to be thinking that about your range, and so they are incentivized to begin to apply pressure. 10 on the turn means an ace or a 10 on the river for Fedor would provide an escape hatch, as those cards would fill him up. Really not your favorite card at all if you're Joao, who did flop the nuts, now has far from it.
Yeah, it's not unreasonable Fedor has diamonds. Also, of course, it kills his action against overpairs like this. Fedor, at first glance, will hate to see the 10, but it's actually going to potentially save him from losing his stack. Protection needed, though, for the straight. 3 diamonds out there.
Mm-hmm. Boy, no diamond in hand is unpleasant. But we just cannot fold to 450. We're not looking to raise.
Yeah, it would be insane fold. It's not. It's still possible he's got the best hand against some kind of worse pair that's trying to protect what's out there. So another 450 into the pot. 2.15 going to the river card, and it's a jack.
Really not a card that creates any concerns for Vieira, nor for that matter for the aces. If we were good before, we're good now. But as we can see, far from it is Fedor. Pot has grown to 2.15 million. SPR sub 1 by just a hair. And if you're Vieira, Randy, do you ask for all of it now, or is that too greedy?
That's a tough question because it depends on how he perceives Fedor to. How would Fedor play like aces, kings, queens? Would he be willing to call jam? What about like 10x? Is it always calling, or is it a little bit afraid of the 3 diamonds out there? So there's definitely merit to asking for it all, and maybe even just a small bet because the board is so scary. There is still a little bit of concerns of the diamonds out there in a paired board for Joao. Jacks could be in Fedor's. He's checking it back.
Wow.
Bet like it.
I think it's all right, to be honest. Especially if he doesn't think 10x would hero call jam because of the diamonds out there.
So Vieira perhaps showing some mercy.
Oh, it is correct.
King high.
It is correct now.
Showing power on the button.
Correct now?
No. I don't think it was last hand.
Little post-flop spot incoming.
Yeah, queen jack in the big for Vieira. Defendable.
Gonna guess he never 4-bets. I mean 3-bets his spot.
Call.
I mean, just getting involved in any sort of unnecessarily big exchange with Panikhov's is something Vieira is desperate to avoid unless he's got the stone nuts. King, queen, 9, middle pair plus a gutter, but versus top pair, this could be troublesome for Joao. Again, not eager to be pressing the action, given the massive over 7-figure pay jump in the presence of Wongi sitting on 10 bigs.
Sometimes you see the weak kickers of the top pair play passively, but then I don't
350.
believe that Vieira would ever check raise him on the flop, so he doesn't really have to fear, you know, like getting blown off of a weak kicker in this spot. So he can probably bet a lot of flops and turns with this pair of kings, trying to get value from this middling stuff.
5 seconds.
350 the figure. Joao obliges. Another 700,000 into the middle. Wongi is rooting for some sort of collision here. No doubt about that. 7 of clubs on the turn. Vieira predictably knuckling over once more. Now let's see if Panikhov's presses Randy or realizes that Vieira's willingness to take himself to the turn on this particular board means that he's going to have a piece.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, he checks
just
back.
quickly check. Definitely was some merit to betting, and he's let the queen jack get there.
2 pair, but a 4-liner on board. Feels as though check is inbound.
There's definitely merit to block betting, so you don't have to be put to the test with like a 10x. Like, Vieira can have 10x in his range, so Panikov can't just blindly raise all of a sudden. Does end up checking, so I guess we just check with king 5. Can't really get called by worse with this board run out.
Well, we talked about how Alex is such a master of chiseling thin value out of spots.
5 seconds.
Is he going to pursue something
625.
like that? Here, we just got our answer,
Interesting.
Top pair.
and he got snapped, by the way, by Vieira. Always was prepared for it. 625.
Vieira seemed a bit surprised. He thought he was just up against a bluff, not that
Too
thin
thin.
of a value bet.
Maybe.
Queen 10 suited for Vieira. It's not the end of the world that Wongi doubled up because he's got a pretty sizable chip lead, so he can kind of
Fold.
just chip away at Panikov's. Wongi king deuce off, so he's like, man, why are all my hands so unplayable?
It really has been brutal. I mean, we talk about card dead sometimes a little more generously than is warranted, but on this occasion, it truly has been a very dusty series of holdings for Wongi. He is going to defend
Your stack, please.
with the king deuce.
Yeah, very similar when he had the king 5 offsuit, just hoping to flop a piece because he's so short. And he does flop a piece. The problem is Joao Vieira's got top 2 pair.
Yeah, in this 3-piece bucket, he's got the wing. The leg and the thigh, however, belong to Vieira with top 2.
And look at Joao. He checked it back.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God, is Wongi gonna get a full double because he has 2 pair against 2 pair?
Now, obviously, this is a damp turn card in terms of that king of hearts, bringing the front door flush in and straightening out a little bit. But
Oh, the trap. This is funny.
it is. I mean, he only has 1.1 back with 165 in the middle.
It takes some guts to check King Deuce on this board right now with that shallow stack.
And of course
1.5.
now, with all of this moisture, Vieira asks for all of it, and oopsie. King's up. Snap calls, and they're on their backs here. Might Wongi be enjoying back-to-back doubles and bouncing off the bottom? All he needs to do is avoid a queen or a 10 on the end. It seems like a straightforward enough proposition. And the river solidifies the second double for Wongi. And check out the rail. They can dig it.
And is it just fireworks immediately? Ace Queen suited versus Ace Jack suited?
Do not adjust your
750.
screen. Perhaps violence early, as the deck feels like it wants to get this one over with. You see Joao. 750. That which he is confronted with. Very three-bettable kit.
Yeah, so hard to show restraint with Ace Jack
2.7.
suited. 2.7. And it's a big 3-bet too. There's a
Right.
chance we just get in chips now pre-flop. It could be over just here. Ollie,
All in.
Ace Queen suited.
Oh, yep.
Jam. Oh my God.
And
Is it
Vieira
over?
thinks Ace-Jack suited is better than average. Unfortunately, while that's true, it isn't better than Ace-Queen. And all of a sudden, we're playing for 23 mil. It could be a wrap on Joao Vieira in hand number one of Heads Up. And how dissatisfying that would be. Cooler for Vieira. Ace on the flop, but a jack as
Oh
well.
no.
Disaster for
Needs
Ponikovs.
help.
Needless to say, assistance is required. You see the spade working. Maybe some Broadway stuff awaits. None of the above, and only a queen will pull the curtain on this heads-up match. Anything else, and an absolutely huge balance transfer is going to show up in this heads-up blockchain. Is Lady Luck on Ponikovs' side? No, as it's jacks full for good measure.
And
Vieira
counts.
taking the worst of it and making the best out of it.
First.
Jack 7 suited, serviceable, played as a limp.
Yeah, so Vieira, of course, is going to raise 2 9s. He doesn't want to jam because 9s is too strong. He wants to have his opponent limp jam on him or, call to raise. So he'll make it whatever
16.
he would normally in these spots. His 4x has been what he's going with. Jack 7 suited's got a lot of playability. Kind of feels like this comes into the call camp, especially if your opponent is polarized from the big blind. They have hands that actually are dominated against the Jack 7 suited, like the 7 deuce off, Jack deuce off. These things might isolate from the big.
Call.
4x is called by Ponikovs. This 1-6 not insignificant in relation to his remaining stack. As you see after the call, he just has 5.5 remaining. Vieira doing the math as the pot grows to 3.6. King 7-5, and Ponikovs has the wrong piece. Second pair on the 2-diamond board versus second pair effective for Vieira, who is well out in front.
Some concerns about the king, but then again, he kind of wants to value
900.
bet against the 7 and 5x. His hand is vulnerable to Jack and Queen X. Starts out small, quarter pot. Ponikovs with middle pair. Needs to hang in there. with the good price, with position.
$900K bet and called. The investment grows even more significant for 𝐼𝐼𝐼𝐿𝐼𝐼, as does the pot to 5.4. This is a really cozy turn for both holdings.
It's a good turn card, yes, for both. Vieira can certainly just keep betting for value. He's going to expect 7 and 5x checking back to turn a lot. I don't think he wants to give those hands a free shot at it. Now he blocks some of the in-position floats that would stab, like 8-9 diamonds. So that might weight 𝐼𝐼𝐼𝐼's range a little bit more towards the pairs. And if that's the case, there's more 7 and 5x you can value bet against than the King X that you're worried about.
Joao taking his
1.1.
time. Sub 1 SPR. He comes with 1.1, Randy.
Yeah, the small bet retains the 7 and 5x that might hero fold if Vieira had just simply jammed on the turn. Price is still very good for 𝐼𝐼𝐼𝐼's. You can't lay down for this price with position.
Could he do something heroic?
It's crossing his mind, clearly.
I mean,
It's not like
King
he's-
X isn't out of there if we do jam, but like we could clear out some equity.
That's the main thought. Is it worth clearing out equity? Because 7x is very vulnerable against diamonds, you know, overcards.
Would diamonds go away if we jammed?
No, probably not, but you can get value against it, right?
All in.
That may be the thought on Ponikov's mind as he does jam. And look at Vieira. There's still one to come. He asks for the count.
For 650.
And this is a man that knows a thing or two about pulling off a bluff. This isn't a bluff outright. But it is the worst hand against nines, looking to play for it all.
He has too much committed in his pot. It's possible 𝐼𝐼𝐼's is just going with a 7x.
Pot lays him 11.1, 3.5 required for a shot at it.
Say again, it's 4 points? Yeah, it's a call. Sorry. Oh,
It is a call.
All right, he took his time, but ultimately decides, yeah, it's a
I'm
call.
behind. I was value betting.
Jack's up.
Ponikov's
Just jack.
claims to have been value jamming there.
I was just double
Ooh, I was like, oh, I'm in good shape. Yeah, whatever.
Perceived that he was in good shape when Joao didn't snap, and instead we can see that shape is quite poor. 5
Double
outs,
cards,
one
everywhere.
time for the Latvian to keep this heads-up match alive, looking for a pound of flesh. A jack for revenge, he says, given that ace-queen fell to ace-jack. What's the deck have in store for Alex? Not the jack. Not the 7 either. And not the day for Alex Ponikovs. He will finish in second,
I was playing with Jack.
claiming 3.139 million, showing love to Joao Vieira. Neither of them
Always
have ever tasted glory at Triton before, but that has all changed.